everybody, welcome back to this week's video blog. I'm Julia Turner. I'm talking about The Walking Dead, the video game this week, which is what we were supposed to play. This is covering the first episode. So here you don't actually see many of the same characters. It's the same universe, so there's a few crossovers, like Glenn is in this, and Glenn is in the TV show. You also see Herschel Green, who has the farm, and he's in the video game and the book. So anyway, you are playing as Lee Everett, who is a grown man, and comes across this little girl named Clementine, who is 8 years old, kind of takes her in because her parents are now very dead, and she doesn't know that. So he wants to protect her, and in turn, she actually ends up saving his life. So it's a good trade-off. One of the things I wanted to discuss pretty quickly was the graphics. It's actually based off of the graphic novel, Robert Kirkman's graphic novel, or his series, I guess, show. Well, the video game, which I think Kirkman actually had a large hand in, you see a lot of similarities there. As far as the graphics go, they're actually very papery. It's not very realistic, which is nice when the video game's very, very gory. It's still gory, even looking like a graphic novel. But I thought that was really cool. I had a conversation with a friend of mine who actually had seen the game played, but had never read the comic book, and she was against the graphic novel background for the video game, I guess. The graphics there. She said it didn't look real enough. It was a little strange. So I don't know. I guess the video game was definitely aimed towards the current Walking Dead graphic novel fans. So I thought that was really interesting. I personally liked it after having read the graphic novel. Second thing I want to talk about was time. There is absolutely no time to think in this video game at all. You are limited and restricted to certain responses. Most of the time I only have 4 responses I can come back with, or I can choose not to respond, and which I don't say anything, and that can also be problematic. Well, with so little time to actually respond, you have to think really, really, really quickly, and a lot of times all of the answers are really bad, except for one, or all of them are just really bad, and you don't want to say any of them, and sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut. Sometimes if you keep your mouth shut, it causes a whole lot of problems, and you end up looking like the bad guy. So anyway, that was interesting. So I found myself a lot of times in a rush to press buttons and ending up pressing the wrong buttons. So there's just there's a lot to think about in many of these scenes. Another thing I wanted to touch on really quickly was the moral choices you have to make. So in this, sometimes the zombies attack all of a sudden and you need to save somebody, but more than one people are getting attacked and you're only one person. So you have to pick, and if you don't pick somebody, they all die, and then it's your fault. So you kind of, it plays with your conscience a little bit. It definitely makes you question yourself shortly after you do these little quests and stuff. So yeah, that's this week. I definitely saw some things I really liked about this game. I could see how this game could go really, really morbid, really, really quickly. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm also excited.